Hello there, my name is Anthony Barocas for Stream Tech Conversations. Today I have an amazing conversation with Dominique Gilbert, who is, as I will call him, an accidental YouTuber who we met on the NAB tram, but who has an immense generosity with his time and his expertise with some beautiful lessons learned and his top 5 tips for new YouTubers. So, Dom, thank you very much for being on today's show. We met at NAB 2024, and both of us were on the tram on our way to, get in there. We both had different goals, of course. Me doing reporting on gear and streaming and things like that. But I was just really intrigued by your story of, I'll call it being the accidental YouTuber.
Well, first and foremost, Anthony, thank you for having me. And you're the first person I interacted with before going to NAB. And when you talk about accidental, I did not realize NAB was happening that week. I was actually out there for UFC 300, and my flight wasn't until like 2 p.m. And so I was walking out of the hotel and I saw the NAB registration booth, and I'm like, wait, NAB is happening? And the guy was like, yeah, it's happening today. And I was like, oh, let me register. So I got a free pass and I walked over with my bags and I met you right on the tram. So things happen for a reason. You can say accidental, but I say destiny.
That's a great way of looking at it, because it's very often that the things that seem accidental, we are in the right place at the right time.
Absolutely.
And so you are a YouTuber, you create content, but it wasn't necessarily something you set out to do.
No. Let me tell you how it kind of all broke down. So I might get my dates off by a day or two, but I believe it was March 31st, 2020, 8:15 in the morning. We had an all hands meeting at the job that I was working at, and COVID happened. And they said between 8:15 and 8:45, if you get a Zoom call, that means that you're going to be let go. Well, I was getting my Zoom call like at 8:14, like right as the meeting was happening. So I knew, okay, I was going to be let go from my marketing job. And so I left that meeting to go in the living room to talk to my wife. And I'm like, hey, I lost my job. And she looked at me and said, hey, I'm pregnant. Oh, wow. Okay. This is great. And with our story, we had been thinking about it, and always complications on my wife's side, but we were blessed to be rewarded that opportunity at a very important time in my life as a filmmaker and creative. I had this thought, right when she told me I'm pregnant, my mind went, I have 9 months to figure out what big project or thought or thing that I want to do. And I need to go fast, and I need to do this swiftly. So let's fast forward. The kids are here. We have twins, one boy, one girl. Perfect.
Congratulations.
Girl. Thank you. I appreciate it. And as a first time father, I'm nervous about what I'm going to give my kids to the world. Like what am I going to give them, and things that I can, prepare them so that they can be better humans to other humans, and also explore the world as vibrant as I want them to be, and have fun. And so I'm doing a ton of research on content that I could show my kids when they get to an age. And I'm just looking around, Anthony, and I'm like, all this stuff seems so oversaturated, and there's no kind of connectivity with the parent. It's almost like you turn the TV on and you walk away, and then the kids are just absorbed in this fantastical world that isn't realistic. And then you as the parent turn it off, and then now the kid is back in real world and it's feisty and stuff. And I just said, like, I'm a filmmaker, is there an opportunity to create some fun content? This was at that point, this was just an idea. This wasn't the spark that made me go, let's make some kids content. It was just like, I want to see what life is right now. So we had a babysitter. We have a babysitter at this time, and I come downstairs from a meeting, and I'm hearing like this Frozen sound voice. It's like very beautiful, soft, like serenading voice. And I'm thinking the TV's on. What song is that? And turn around the corner, and my babysitter's like singing this beautiful melody to my daughter. And my daughter is like tearing up, crying, like smiley, and like trying to mimic what she's doing. And also at this time, I had noticed in between meetings, like my babysitter was doing stuff that I thought like, why would you try to teach a 6-month-old like shapes and colors and things of that nature? But at times in which I would see them interact again, it was working. You know, my daughter and my son at 6 to 8 months, they're like pointing at, you know, she's saying, what's yellow? And what's the yellow triangle? And my daughter's crawling and pointing at it. Okay. This is a great start. And then she's also singing like some really awesome doo-wops and old modern pop modern songs that I felt like, wow, like you're really talented and you're a babysitter. What are you doing here? So we had a long conversation. I said, look, I have a small little green screen studio. I do marketing and all these UGC content and ads for big companies. But like, let's take some time over the weekend and create like a fun, modern old McDonald's song with a twist. I said a little hip hop and like something that parents could be like, I like this. I want to stay in the room and listen to this. And so we create this song. We use this. It's like a 8x10 room. And I put up like a green screen and we record. I put the video together and it was mainly for my kids. I wanted to show them that when she left, they could still see her on the camera. But a couple of things that we added that were different and differentiated ourselves from like traditional nursery rhymes was I wanted the kids to be multi or compound learning. So they're learning 2 or 3 different things at once without even realizing that they're learning. They're dancing. So they're understanding cadence and rhythm. They're phonetically understanding alphabets or sounds or animal things. And then the lyrics are a little sped up, but enough where a kid could repeat and kind of start to talk and really engage in that way.
Right.
And yeah, this is the first mistake I made, but it's like, once again, like I wasn't planning an intent of becoming a YouTuber. So Vimeo, I had an account and I was being very conscious financially about the account, or at least just opening it up again. And I had I had like enough space, but not enough space to put this music video up. And they're like, for $49 a month, you can put it up and have 5 more gigs. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. So I threw the video up on YouTube because it was free. And I was like, I could just save it on my TV and then we can come back to that. Well, on that video, I had no thumbnail. I think I might have had the title of the actual video, which was like oldmcdonald.mov.2024. Because that's good SEO research, right? That's good practice. And then I didn't have any descriptions. I had no YouTube title descriptions that like met any of the YouTube standards. Because I wasn't planning on becoming a YouTuber. So the video goes live. We watch it. It's got like maybe 30, 40 views for like maybe 2 weeks. Or no, like 2 days. 2 days, yeah. I get a call from Sarah like day 4, day 5. And she's like, hey, did you promote the YouTube video? Like, did you promote it? No. She says, yeah, it's got like 10,000 views on it. Huh? Oh, okay. So I go and click. I open up the YouTube studio and it's like 800 subscribers, 10,000 views. Uh, who who did I share this with? So I thought it was one of my friends that I had shared it out, and I have a few influencer friends, but people were like, "No, I didn't. It's a great song, but it's not my market. It's like it wouldn't work on my algorithm." Okay, let's just watch it as it grows. The next day, another 100 subscribers, maybe 12,000 views. Another day, 15, 20, 30. By like day 10, we're like 50,000 views and I think maybe 1,600 or 2,000 subscribers. And on the algorithm, you could just see it's like flat and then it just shoots up. So some people,
and again, you just have the one video.
just the one video,
People subscribing to a channel with one video that says dot movie.
There's a dot movie, dot movie, exactly. And I'm excited. I'm like really excited about this because I wasn't planning on doing it, but it brings back the idea of authenticity matters to your content. Trends and stuff, they are helpful, but they're not long term. My passion, I had so much fun editing this video. I felt that maybe people were really enjoying the passion that was put into it. I was learning things too. I wasn't a big time editor, and I didn't do a lot of green screen on my own. I would shoot stuff and then send it out to a real editor. This is like the first video that I attempted to do some After Effects and things of that nature, but I had so much fun doing it because it was ultimately for my kids. So we had another conversation. Hey, this video's doing great. Let's make another one. So like, what should we do? Like, let's do like phonetics, like the alphabet song. And I said, okay, but let's take it to a next step. Let's not just do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Let's do a dance rhythmic piece to it. And then we can do A, and then phonetically express it, and then give an example of that phonetic expression. I was like, that's the only way I'm going to feel happy about it, because if there's layers to it without them knowing, it's fun learning. So we put that together. We put a few other activities up. It was like, I think maybe 11 minutes or 22 minutes. The second and third video, vice versa. One was 11, one was 22. But we put that video up and it was doing okay. And then Anthony, like 3 days into it, it was like every hour, 10,000 views. It was like boom, boom, boom. And I'm going, oh, what did we do? Once again, the authenticity, the passion, how much fun I had. I felt that whoever the audience was resonating with it, because it wasn't just like it was being served to a lot of people. It was being served, and then the watch time was like insane. If the total video was like 11 minutes, our watch times, like average, was like 10 minutes. And I was like 80%, 90%. This is unheard of. So YouTube was like, going on. Like, hey, we keep creating content. And I was trying to figure out, why are we hitting this algorithm so well? And so this is the fun story. This is where it made me realize, okay, we need to reconsider this and maybe try to make this bigger than what we had even imagined and thought of. So we're downstairs. This is late night. Me and Sarah, my babysitter, are talking. It's like 10 p.m. at my house on like a Wednesday or Thursday. And I said, like, I really want to create this content. Like, I really do. And I'm like, what are other shows or examples out there that we can, take a look at and see what they're doing? And my wife comes running downstairs. Like, my wife never runs downstairs at 10 p.m. at night. She sleeps. Like, once the kids are down, she is knocked out. So she's like, Dom, they're talking about your channel in this mom's group. And I'm like, wait, what? And she's like, yeah, they're comparing you to this lady named Miss Rachel. And I'm like, who's Miss Rachel? She's like, Dom, you've never heard of Miss Rachel? She's like the biggest thing that happened during the pandemic. She's like the Willy Wonka of the chocolate factory, the the Big Bird of Sesame Street. She's like, I'm like, I've never heard of this girl before. Like, let's see what they're talking about. I only had 3 videos at this time, and this post said, "Are you Team Miss Rachel or Team Miss Sarah Sunshine?" I'm like, what is going on? And the comment section was like 200 comments. Wow. They're like, I will never leave Miss Rachel. Nobody could ever take Miss Rachel from me. And then people were like, oh my God, this song, they need to make more music. It's incredible. Miss Sarah Sunshine's going to be a light. My daughter loves my son. It was just so many comments back and forth. And keep in mind, like, I'm like, why are we starting a children's rap beef? Like, why are we starting this East Coast, West Coast thing right now? But it was beautiful to think that this idea that was just for my kids had mom groups and influencers talking about this one song. And it wasn't even like a viral over hit, but it was like enough that people really were like, we want more of it. And even that conversation then, that night, me and Sarah were like, okay, let's make something out of this. Let's just be consistent. Let's come up with a ton of ideas. Let's just keep making content for this summer and see where it takes us. And I told her, I said, by the end of the year, I want 10,000 subscribers. I will be beyond excited for 10,000 subscribers. She's like, why 10,000? I'm like, I have a YouTube channel that I created personally 10 years. It's only got 4,000 subscribers on it. And it's like video tutorials, like how to open up a C-stand and how to set up an audio recorder. And I'm like, and I worked hard with my team for that. And we were at 4,000. If we can double that, I know I would be beyond ecstatic. All right, 10,000 it is. So I want to say we started making more content, and our aha boom moment was this dads group called Dads Who Try made a video, and they started out saying top 5 shows we highly recommend for your toddlers in toddler learning. They're like, number 1, I think it was like Gracie's Corner, which is an amazing hip hop and pop toddler learning channel.
Right.
With this little girl, she's incredible, and her father is such an amazing supporter. So it was like like-minded dads. And they go, number 1, Gracie's Corner, great music, blah blah blah. Number 2, it's Circle Time. I'm like on my feed going, wait, what? And they go, this is what they specifically said. They don't have a lot of videos, y'all, but these videos, my kids keep watching them. Make more videos at Circle Time. The music is great. The quality is out of this world. It's Circle Time. And then they go, number 3, they name some other ones, and they go, number 5, the queen herself, Miss Rachel. And so I'm like, hey, the fact that people are recognizing us and putting us on this level that we just started on, like up here with these people, is a very humbling moment for us. And we are just so excited to be in this midst. And I respect all the other channels. I actually love all the other channels because I know if I'm up working and editing these videos late at night and turning them out, these people are doing it the same way. And you have to just appreciate the fact that people are taking it in their own hands to offer a free education or trying to create an education for kids in this most important time of their lives. Right. Age 1 to 4, the brain is developed 85% in development. So anything you give your kid in that range will definitely determine and dictate their outlook in their life from 4 to 26 when their brain is fully being developed, right? So if you can give them some kind of foundation that helps and any resources of that nature, they're better off becoming better humans to society and our community. So just really honored and humbled that the Dads Who Try put us up. But once again, happy accident. Had I put them on Vimeo, right, maybe this would not have happened.
Not at all.
Right. And so, yeah, that post alone took us from like, I think we were maybe at like 5,000 subscribers, and over a course of maybe, I want to say 2 weeks, we went from 5,000 to 25,000 subscribers.
Oh man.
And I was like, all right, well, I guess I got to move this bar. If we can get 50,000 subscribers, I'll be beyond ecstatic. And that's essentially how the channel became what it is today. In that process, and like being so blessed and so honored that people are enjoying our content, I called up my best friend Rob, who I've worked and done filmmaking with for the longest, and we've always had an idea of creating kids content because we both worked at the Boys and Girls Club teaching kids music and film. So it's like a great circle back. When I was younger, 19, I was teaching kids music and film and seeing how passionate inner city kids and kids who didn't have access to this cool technology, seeing what it was doing for them then and being like, I could actually offer the same kind of skill set for toddlers now. Rob, hey, not only do I have something here, but it's working really well. Let's put something together. And he goes, my sister's been wanting to do a YouTube channel for so long. Can she jump on? I'm like, jump on. This bus is big enough for all of us. Most importantly, I want to change the world in the unique way that I can, as best as possible for the greater good. And I want to have fun doing this. It's not something that I'm stressed out about at night. It's instead of me playing Call of Duty or any of these games, like I'm editing, I'm learning something, and I'm having fun. Like that's my main thing. If you guys are wanting to have fun, jump on. So we added them I called up my friends who do music. Hey, Kofi, Keone, help me out. Got this great idea. It's moving. I need help with some music. I'll send you the ideas. You guys put your elevated touches on it. They're like, oh my God, Dom. Yes, absolutely. This is what I wanted to do. So I'm always surrounded by the people, like-minded people who want to do the same thing. And yeah, we just been grinding and you're actually the first to see this. This is your channel, but we got our silver star or our silver button.
Congratulations.
And, yeah, man, it's humbling. It's awesome. But I also know it's not the stop. Like we're not stopped. We're not finished. We want to.
Now, when you tell it like that, it sounds like, man, all the pieces just lined up. Everything worked, aside from that one mistake that you mentioned at the very beginning. But I'm willing to bet there might have been one or two learning experiences, possible missteps, or things like that could help people if they knew what to avoid.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
What would be your top 5? Don't do this.
Perfect. Yeah. The first thing I would do,
or not do,
I would not do again, is have intent on the content you're creating before you start shooting. Okay, and I'll give you a great example of this. We were hot. Things are moving. We were seeing like 100, 200 subscribers a day on our channel. We were like, yeah, we're in the golden areas. We're doing good. I said, let's just do some fun stuff. Let's just do whatever because people just like us now. And we made a random video that looked totally different than our channel. And YouTube was like, Remember the Jurassic Park? And it just not only tanked, but like we lost subscribers, and then people were like hitting us on our own other channels like, that video's not good, guys. And it was just like we were feeling the wave of just like, we're so cool that we can do whatever we want. And I'd be like, okay, learning lesson. And keep in mind, Anthony, my everybody who knows me, I don't say wins and losses, I say wins and lessons. So I've learned a lot of lessons, right? But I'm always I'm in a positive of like, okay, that didn't win. What can we learn from that? So the biggest thing I tell people is like, before you turn the recorder on, plan out your content. Plan it out. It sounds crazy, but I actually go through the information on the back end, the data, and look at what are the videos that are working on our channel, and then researching what is YouTube recommending before, like where are we coming from, like how are we being seen, like what videos are we being seen after, and then what are the videos that YouTube are recommending after our content, because then that can help shape a lot of your action items. So plan. Second thing is thumbnails. Like it's very important to get your thumbnails looking right. Actually, that's actually the planning process. It's something that I'd stolen from Mr. Beast. I've watched a bunch of videos on him, and he's like, we don't even actually make a video until we see what the thumbnail is going to look like. And I go, that's pretty interesting. So obviously Mr. Beast has a large team.
Yeah.
They probably have meetings every Monday about what the next video is going to be like. And he's got a bunch of graphic designers or thumbnail artists that are just like, here's 50 ideas and crazy wild thumbnails. I don't have that. Most of us don't have that. And the resources that I have used, and it's like such an awesome era, is Midjourney, or Dolly 3 on the ChatGPT website. And I go and do my research on what are the popular things and most searched things in my industry, and then start to break down the ideas and go, oh, that's a fun idea. I take that, I throw it in the ChatGPT, and then I say, give me some ideas on what this episode may look like. And this is not to say I go and copy and paste that and be like, hey, everybody, this is the episode. It's just a thought starter. It's like having that team of people in the room and being like, I don't like that idea, but what if we turned it and flipped it this way and upside down and, do that? And then,
I mean, and I've used AI myself as sort of like, for that laborious task of idea generation, information gathering, just go out and cull it for me. And then we take it, and I've gotten completely wrong information from it and stuff like that. So you definitely have to like take it and run it through your own process.
You have to run it through your process. I always tell people the first response or iteration that they provide, do not go with. Like it's not ever 100% like, oh my God, this is great. It's a way of it's an assistant. It's a way of taking your idea that you have and being able to just respond back to somebody and be like, no, I don't like that, but if I did this, and work it out and fine tune it. So the thumbnail creation is very important. I typically create the thumbnails before I start writing out what the video is going to look like. And then I plan the content around that thumbnail so that when people are seeing that thumbnail and they click it, their expectations aren't different than what that thumbnail is perceiving it to be.
Right.
So that's number 2. Number 3, understand your data. I know so many.
Hard.
Oh my God, it is so hard. But one, there's so many things that YouTube gives you as far as tools that it's overwhelming. And I tell people the 2 things that you should always look at and worry about the most is watch time, like view count and subscribers, are facade to me. It's awesome to have the numbers, but they're a facade to me. That watch time is very important. And so I'm going to ask you, why do you think I am so passionate about the watch time?
Because it reinforces that the content is resonating with the viewer, that they will stay and watch it all the way through.
Yes, absolutely. That's one part of it, Anthony. This is going to be the golden nugget, Anthony, for you and your and channels who haven't heard this information, because I am coming from, I live in Silicon Valley. I've worked at most of these startups and 500, top 500 companies in the whole universe, right? And so I understand why watch time is critical. And it's broken down to the most simple form of it. Okay. We're all leaving TV. Like, most people have so many different streaming services, and we're all leaving TV. We rely on Netflix, YouTube, Hulu, all these platforms. But we also realize that TV brought a lot of opportunity for big brands to, commercialize themselves and show the products. And now that we've moved away from TV and going streaming, these big companies, these big corporations are looking for, where are people's eyeballs at? Where can we service these ads that we used to have on TV, that we used to pay millions and millions of dollars to a demographic? And like, does the Southern community like our bread? Versus, like, that was the whole perspective. And now with YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, it's not a demographic standpoint, it's an individual IP thing. What does Anthony like at 4 p.m. on a Wednesday? We know that information because he's scrolling.
It's data.
So it's data. And so why I bring that up, why is watch time important? Because the more watch time that your video offers, the more YouTube can sell ads to ad space to these businesses to make money. That's the most simplest form of it ever. Like, your content is irrelevant to YouTube if you aren't hitting more than 50% watch time, because they can't serve, because they're like, why would we want to recommend this if you aren't hitting watch time hours? Because we can't service the ads in between your content.
Right.
So the more engaging that you can be with your content, the more YouTube will recommend your content to the channels. And that's, I think some people look at that YouTube studio and all the analytics and see all these demographics and locations and all the stuff moving around. And I just watch time. Is my watch time going up? Is my watch time going down? At what point do people leave the video? What's happening in the first 30 seconds? When I upload this video, am I uploading it at the right times where my audience is relevant? Because that takes a huge important leap. If I upload a video on Sunday at 4 p.m. and my audience isn't engaged at that time, YouTube isn't a human and it's like, oh, well, we'll just wait until this audience wakes up and we'll then serve it and recommend it. They're like, if you're not making me money now, we're going to go find another channel that's going to make me money at that time. That will bring more people engaged. That's really what it is. And
now, I have a question related to that, because you say watch time is eyeballs that are glued to the screen that YouTube wants to see, because that is how they can sell those ads. But you create children's content. Is your children's content set up with ads, or is it non-ad children's content?
So they do serve ads, and there are so many restrictions and regulations as far as what ads can be served through our content. And that's another level that, unfortunately for everybody else's channels that are non-children, like, they don't got to worry about that. But for us, we have to make sure we're not like in our episodes, even in our episodes, being like, oh, look at my Air Beats pods. Like, ooh, aren't they incredible? They're great. And then they put them in. We can't do that. We can't, like, the foundation of it is, if I were to remove this item and talk about it and it's not there, is it relevant to the kids? If it is, then it's not a stuffed in your face kind of ad. But if I can't talk about this without it being there, that's product placement, and it's like a big no-no. But outside of that, ads are served throughout our episodes. They're served at the beginning. They may be served at, the 3 or 4 minute mark, and this is where it's funny, because they're not necessarily in the experience that I've seen. It's like the ads aren't necessarily for kids. I think it's more for the parents' emails that are signed up to the YouTube account, because I've seen sometimes, like, we'll have this old McDonald's song and then the ad will pop up and it's like, hey there, San Jose fans, are you needing somebody to clean your toilets? We're here down in local blah blah blah. It's like, that's not an ad for kids for sure, but the algorithm is like, whoever signed this channel up has been looking for cleaning services in that information, right. So we're going to serve this ad to them, and that's how we make money. The ads are the ad space, and ad revenue is how we are able to generate content. That's a small portion of the amount of revenue that we can get from YouTube, or at least right. Just for creating a business.
Okay, so what would number 4 be?
Okay, so I said planning, thumbnail, watch time, and number 4. Ooh. Number 4 would be, I want to make sure I give some juicy good stuff. Ooh. Number 4. Can I say that? Okay. Number 4, this may not present itself to individuals. I'll do number 4 and number 5 because I think they kind of coincide with one another. Number 4 is if you're with a team, like as a team YouTube channel, or you have an editor, or you are wanting to try to make this big and important, being transparent in what you're trying to create and the ultimate goals are very important to the dynamics of your team. And I bring that out. This might not be an individual thing, but the individual number 5 is very important, and it's critical. So as a team, knowing the objective and the goals before you start shooting is important. I think I came from an environment in Silicon Valley where they use a ton of buzzwords and they get you to think that your companies and things of that nature are for the person. We're here for you. It's an ecosystem. It's an echo chamber. It's all these things. And the dynamics of the team just become so far from the reality that moving forward, you're not so driven for the goal. And so I wanted to make sure early on for my team, being transparent was critical. So letting them know what the watch time, getting them to understand the actual business, getting them to understand that, like, this video is not, we're not going to have that many parts of you in this. We're going to do this because I'm trying to learn and test and see things. And it's not a personal thing, but it's just trying to get an idea of what the audience wants. And that has helped me in our team really take it to new heights, because as they witness and see, like, the hard work that we're putting behind it and the learnings that we're getting from it, they are now incorporating, like, I know when I do this type of content, it doesn't do well. So, like, I'm going to do this type of content and it works. Okay, let's keep doing this. And so we've become a very nucleus centered team. And I've seen so many other channels and people who they're like big YouTubers and they partner with other YouTubers, and then dynamics crash, and then they separate, and then now the audiences are like, well, I don't want to. I want it the whole team. I don't want just the individual. So I just made that very apparent, and that, like, once again, that's for me number 4, like making sure you're very transparent and very open and upfront with the team, and it'll go a long way. Now,
That to me kind of sounds like everybody, by being clear on where the goal is and the process, everybody's rowing in the same direction.
absolutely.
As opposed to somebody like, well, I think we should, why I really don't get why we're not doing this. And they're kind of rowing over here to the right a little bit. Somebody's rowing over to the left a little bit. It's like by saying, like you says, we're going to try something different on this one. We're going to change who's featured just to see what happens. They all get it. And we're all rowing towards the same direction.
Which is like, let me add to this 4.1.
Okay.
I don't argue with people based on my own subjective feelings. I don't make executive decisions based on my subjective feelings. That'll get any YouTuber, any content creator, all over the place. I look at the data and I use that as my exhibit A, exhibit B. This is why we're never going to do this type of video ever again, because the data speaks for it. And that's why it's so important to be inside and in the weeds of this. We get on calls. We have calls every other Monday. Now, Miss Sarah is in education. I don't expect her to understand the watch time equation. I don't expect her to understand the click-through rates of things of that nature. But I'm going to tell my team, hey, that video we did, it didn't meet our click-through rate goals. It didn't meet our watch time threshold. So we could maybe resurface this or bring this up later on. But as for right now, that cool idea that we thought or you thought was awesome and epic, it didn't work. It's not to say it doesn't work, but it just didn't work right now. And we need to understand why it didn't work. And so if I came to them and said, Miss Sarah, that bird video you did was just, in my opinion, terrible. It didn't look good, and I didn't really like that. The subjectiveness of it is like, it wasn't for me. It could have been for somebody else. And where she was coming from her whole heart, that was passionate to her. Why would I do that to somebody? And so even yourself, when you look at the videos and you go, oh, the video didn't go viral or didn't hit these numbers, don't take it as a subjective thing and think that it's because you are a terrible content creator. Utilize the data to help you make very critical decisions. That information will be awesome. It'll be helpful for you. And sometimes people don't have the, if you're a beginning YouTuber, some of the information that I'm talking about is not accessible to you. Like, it won't show you like in the regions or the times in which your video performed the best. But like, just even looking at the click-through rate and being like, okay, the click-through rate didn't do well. What could I have done better? Well, the click-through rate comes from the thumbnail. If people didn't click the thumbnail and they didn't like the thumbnail, it's not to say that you're a terrible YouTube content creator. It's just that it didn't hit them the way that you thought it was going to hit them. So change the thumbnail.
Yeah. And the thumbnail is always changeable,
Always changeable. As a matter of fact, I think YouTube's rolling out an A/B test, in A/B testing on the back end. There are some tools out there that I use, vidIQ, TubeBuddy. I love TubeBuddy. I love them both. They both do the same thing, but they also have unique things together. So I'm like, I'll just utilize both at the same time. But even just in the YouTube studio, click-through rate and understanding that and creating 4 or 5 different thumbnails, changing the text size, changing where you position yourself. These are things that are easy to do, and you can, okay, it didn't work. Let's throw up another thumbnail. And I've seen plenty of our videos where we didn't have a good thumbnail. I change the thumbnail takes off. Video goes, oh, now we're cooking. And YouTube,
Right.
like, now you got people's attention. We'll serve this out to more people. At the end of the day, YouTube wants to make money. They want to make money. How do they make money?
By keeping people glued to the screen.
By keeping people glued to the screen. And when they keep people glued to the screen, they do what? They can serve ads. They can do bid wars. You know, they do bidding wars on the back end. The companies bid for that space for Anthony. Anthony's halfway through video. I want that space. Now they're not.
Maybe someday. Maybe someday.
Now they maybe are not in the meeting room going, yeah, Anthony, we got to get that space right there because that is the most critical space in Anthony's YouTube video. But they're going, here's an entity of different industries and different creators in these thresholds. We want to be in this spot. And so the companies bid for that spot on the back end in Google Ads. And it's really, that's how they make money. Man, YouTube makes so much money per minute, per second. It's crazy by understanding that. Once you understand that, make engaging content and have, intent with it, you're going to be golden. Number five.
It's related to 4.
It's related to 4. Kind of related. It's for the individual, not necessarily for the team. Individual YouTube content creators. Handle your business. Get your business stuff squared away. This is when you are thinking about, if this is a channel that you want to make money off of, I wish when we had 100 subscribers, I would have done the stuff I should have done then than when I had the 25,000 subscribers and I was like, oh, man, I wish I would have done that because we left so much more money on the table. So you're going to laugh at this. We were ready to be monetized and be in a YouTube program 2 weeks into our channel. We were ready. I didn't know that. I thought, oh, once you hit 1,000 subscribers and you have your watch time hours, they're just going to throw you in. And it's like, you got to click that button. You got to click that YouTube program button right there. Click. So for a month,
it's a couple buttons, and then you got to connect your bank account, and you got to do a whole bunch of stuff. And
you got to do a whole bunch of stuff.
And then, I always say, you don't know, you never know what's going to happen with an entity. So it's better, I say, hey, sign up for an LLC.
Yep.
Get a business bank account, because, hey, you know what? If this is something 3 years down the road or whatever, it's sort of like it's grown to the point where somebody, Disney says, we want to buy that from you.
Yep.
And you're ready to sign it off. Well, it has to not be your personal bank account. It has to.
Yeah, just put it in my Chase savings, we'll be all, just send the whole direct. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, I mean, that for a full month, I didn't press the button. I didn't do all those things. I didn't have an LLC. I didn't have that in line. I didn't have a business card. And we look at the spike going, we left a lot of money on that table at that time because we were just thriving and the numbers were doing really well. So get your stuff in line. On the counter side of that, taxes. Now, most people go, taxes. I hate taxes. I love taxes now because as a content creator, there are so many things you can write off. If you're treating this as a business, there are so many things you can write off that are encouraging. So I was able to write off concerts. I was able to write off movie tickets. I was able to write off live performances. And you go, how? You went and saw Beyonce. How? And you were able to write that off. I was able to write that off because under certain tax codes and tax laws, my intent to go see Beyonce was purely to understand and be researched and understand her aesthetics in the stadium, the content that she's creating, what the screens look like, what her stage presence, learning. That's the only way I can learn. Yes, I can go learn and watch it on TV, but being there and experiencing and seeing the production and all that is research and value. And there's so many more tax codes that in are just in benefit of the content creators and people who are doing business. The IRS does not want is not didn't create tax codes to hurt people, especially small businesses. That's how America became and thrived. It's like small businesses are the backbones to the United States. Where it hurts people is if you have a job at a corporation, well, most of the tax codes don't apply to you because you're under a big entity that is utilizing those tax codes. You can't double dip into the tax code thing. You can't do that. And so I connected with a guy. His name's Dan Nicholson. One of the most incredible minds that I was ever able to talk to about taxes. And he has a book called Rigging the Game. And it basically breaks down the mindset that you should have when starting a business and actually being able to pay no money in taxes every year. And once you understand all the tax codes that you can apply for, man, like it's not a thing for me. And I bring this to you because my first year, I didn't have that mindset. And then when that tax paper came in, and I was like, oh, I gotta, oh my God, that's a lot. That's like 50%. And I didn't apply for any of the different benefits and things that I could have applied for because I wasn't knowledgeable on it. And so as content creators, as you are writing this up, and even if you don't make that much money in your year, like there are things outside of that. If you are using the resources to help grow your business, you can apply for a lot of tax codes. So like research and development is like the biggest one for me because as a musician, as a filmmaker, idolizing these people and seeing their work and being able to understand, it's like my education away from school. Like I can't go to school. Like I got kids. I got no time. I can do night school online, but like seeing Blippy on Ice and seeing Sesame Street on Ice was an incredible thing for me to understand, like cadence and how it starts and how it ends and what are the transitions and what are the sounds that they're using here and there. And then I applied that same stuff to the channel and it started to work. And I was able to keep money back in my pocket.
Yeah, I mean, as creatives, we all borrow from everything that we take in. We're constantly learning, and seeing Blippy on Ice. My son was into Blippy, on his iPad for like a good year, and yeah, there is just something to seeing other people's work, and then you're always saying like, I'm watching him watch this. How is he interacting with it?
Yeah.
What is keeping him glued? What's moving him from one thing to the next thing? And then we as content creators, even our own content, if we're creating other content, it's like, well, why did I click on that? What attracted me to this thumbnail? What is working now? Because even, in our daily lives, what works today isn't what's going to work in 6 months because
Exactly.
we're constantly evolving. Comedy in the 80s is different than comedy now.
Yep. Absolutely. You hit every note that I could have added to that. And as content creators, once again, my foundation is wins and lessons. Learn from every mishap, happy accident, unforeseen circumstances to continue to do this. It's a fun world to be able to control what you bring and give to the world. It's so awesome. I feel very fulfilled in creating content for kids while also being able to have fun and do the stuff that I'm doing on my free time. So I could turn the stuff that I do on my free time to a real job. Oh my gosh, that sounds too good to be true. But this day and age, you can do that with YouTube. You can do that with Instagram and TikTok. You can do that with any platform, even on your own platform if you wanted to create your own platform. Because at some day, there's going to be some day that YouTube is going to be irrelevant. I don't know when, and I hope not soon. And I hope not soon because this silver button means a lot to us. But just we're in a golden age of creating content. No time in our civilization have we been able to be ever in control of feeding something to the world and seeing a return without having to go through the big five entities, right? Or the big five record labels. Like, you can create a song in your daughter's room, which I am doing now, and share it to the world with a click of a button. How fun is that? So don't take that for granted. Don't take that for granted, because you as individuals, if you have an idea that you want to share with the world, it's very important that you put your all into it. You put your all into it and you have fun doing it. And that's where we're at now. We our channel is doing great. We're at a phase right now where we just hired one of the largest talent agencies to help us with brand collaborations and deals. We inked that last week. I can't talk a lot about that, but I'm really, really awesome and excited about this. Is something that I wasn't planning on doing, and now I'm so close to seeing some of the people that I look up to, and very fortuitous to have fun doing this. And I think it's, I listened to this show called How I Built This, and Guy Raz asked at the end, is it luck or is it hard work? And I just go, man, I just had fun.
Yeah, I always think it's both.
It's absolutely both.
Luck doesn't work without a lot of hard work, and hard work is really, really assisted when there's a bit of luck there as well.
Once again, I'm having so much fun and just being consistent and doing the stuff that I work really hard at these big companies, and I'm like doing it for my channel. It's like, hopefully we'll be noticed at some point. And then all of a sudden an email pops up and it's this guy. He goes, hey, my kid loves watching your content, and I actually love listening to your music. I don't know how we found you. But your stuff is incredible. I work for the largest talent agency in the world, and I noticed you don't have a talent manager. Do you want to have a talent manager? And it's like, okay, my hard work brought some luck, and the luck is going to bring us some more hard work options. And so that's what I'm really excited about. Like, our channel is just hitting the surface of the bottom.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly, with the button and the direction you guys are going now, you're definitely starting to pick up some steam.
Yeah,
I think now, and you can almost say, hey, we need to revisit this in another 6 months, and you can say, oh, I thought it was busy then. Oh
yeah. And I'm so down. Like, Anthony, I think we don't know each other, right? But I think even in that interaction, like, I saw a little bit of my experience in my first time. Like, I saw a lot of experience in what I saw with you when we talked, like in talking and seeing the content that you're creating, and like you're trying to build a community for them to understand it. It means a lot to be surrounded by people who are trying to help people. I feel like in my spirit, I was put on this planet, or put in this situation to help people. To help people. And when I see that with other people, I cannot not help out and be like, oh yeah, let's do this. Oh, let's figure this out. So I would love, let's see what 6 months from now looks like. And you know, in a perfect world, I'd be like, Aunt, talk to my assistant, right? But also too, I'm excited to see where it is and hopefully have some more lessons to teach to your channel.
That would be fantastic. I really appreciate you making the time. And you know, how fortuitous was that chance encounter on the monorail, and you happening to notice the NAB sign up in the hotel and everything, and making this all come together, man. I really do appreciate, you know, all the lessons, and I hope people who are watching, you know, can really take these things and run with them with whatever they've got planned,
Yeah,
and you know, build their own, you know, journey.
absolutely. Absolutely. So everybody be good, be safe, do great. And, you know, we'll see you in 6 months.
Well, Dom, thank you again for sharing your time and your expertise with me and all of us who are in this YouTube journey together. I look forward to sharing even more conversations in this series. My name is Anthony Barocas. Thanks for watching.